There was no red tsunami last night, which means we have no clarity on who will be in control of the U.S. Senate or the House. It looks like most people are predicting the House by narrow margin, maybe like 220, maybe 219, maybe if you're lucky, 221. So that Republicans will end up, that Nancy Pelosi will be retired as Speaker of the House, and that Republicans will take charge of the House. That will be gridlock in Washington. So a lot of what we talked about, stopping bad legislation, will occur. DeSantis in Florida had a gigantic victory, a 1.5 million vote victory, and that worked down ballot there. So his whole team was reelected. And we saw the congressional races too there.
In Florida. What did you think?
Yeah, I think Florida, you can maybe say, is maybe the reddest or one of the top 3 reddest states in the country. Now, if you look at that map, you really only had a couple blue spots. You even had places like Tampa and Miami-Dade, obviously.
That was huge.
Both going decisively for DeSantis. And as you said, then down ballot as well. Not just DeSantis, but DeSantis, Rubio, and so on and so on. Our friend Jimmy Petronas, he won.
We're a very divided country. The close polls didn't break Republican.
That is correct.
So every poll that showed Republicans within 1 or 2, we lost. That's okay because they didn't say that you were going to win. They actually said you were going to lose.
Yeah.
I think the polling was off on like some of these gubernatorial, like Tudor Dixon, way off.
6 and 7.
New York was off.
We're all a little in a funk because of it not being really what we all hoped it to be. And I think that's okay, to be honest with our audience. However, Pelosi potentially probably gone as Speaker of the House.
Chuck Schumer right on the edge.
Yeah. So there are some wins here, and there's a good chance. There's at least a chance.
Republicans have control of Congress. At the end of this week, we could have won the war.
Yeah.
We might have lost a lot of battles along the way, lost a lot of troops along the way.
Yeah.
But ultimately, there's more of us standing in Washington than there will be them. Now, what we did learn is a couple of things. One is abortion poll number 2, and only about 3% behind the economy.
So the suburban women, that was a big issue for them.
Yes. I mean, it was the number 2 issue in the country.
Yeah.
And not like with a 30-point difference either. Like almost the number 1 issue.
Yeah.
Just a few points off than the exit polls. So our issue on the economy, by being about 10% more important to voters than abortion,
probably
carried us over the edge.
Yeah.
Barely.
But we're fighting on the margins for percentages.
On the margins. And abortion polled way higher on exit polls. Honest to God, I'll give up an election cycle over overturning Roe versus Wade. If
exactly.
that was the long term.
Yes, no question.
That's more important than 2 years.
We're also talking about the possibility of the Senate still shifting without a runoff if Nevada and Arizona go Republican. Kemp won in Georgia by almost 10%.
And he had to focus on winning because he had a machine up against him that almost beat him last time.
Right. So he wins by almost basically double digits. And Walker is not pulling it out at this point without a runoff. And then the runoff significance will be the most if, in fact, there is a outcome determinative race in Georgia.
If it's not, if Republicans have got to 51 without it, so Arizona goes our way and Nevada stays our way, then it's who's it worth more to? And I think it's Republicans to add another seat.
Yes.
Democrats.
I'd fight for that seat even if you were at 51-49. Absolutely.
And I think it's easier to get Republicans excited for it than because it gives you. We kind of had a comeback at this by the end of this week. This
is why you got to give real analysis.
You can't all just like freak out in one day.
And it's part of this is ratings for them.
Listen, you would like to wake up and not have this.
No, sure. I know, but you guess what? We live in America.
Don't give up yet because we could be in charge of both chambers of Congress. That is huge. Rick, you actually tweeted out that Republicans will win the seat in Nevada and Laxalt's in the lead there, and Arizona, where Masters is behind. But again, I said there's so many votes out. I mean, you got 40% of the vote out. We are still in the running to take both the House and retire Nancy Pelosi and the Senate and retire Chuck Schumer.
Instead of giving you my opinion, how about I just give you some data? And the reality is that last night, when we hit about midnight or 12:30, Blake Masters was about 275,000 votes down. Yeah. And this morning, he is down by 89,969 votes. And we had a press conference this morning here in Maricopa County, and they announced that there are 450,000 ballots still to count, and we have been winning that ballot dump, every time they've done it, we Republicans, by 70%. So if you just assume the trend of what they've been doing because they're all election day votes. Not only is Kerry Lake going to be the next governor of Arizona, Abe Hamadeh is going to be the next attorney general of Arizona, but Blake Masters is going to win the Senate seat.
If Arizona and Nevada go Republican, it'd still be nice to win Georgia in the runoff because it gives you a 52-48 margin, but it's not
really
outcome
refocus
determined.
Our attention then. We can all refocus.
If we don't win Arizona, then Georgia's outcome determinative.
Yeah, and
you
want to
got
make
to
sure
pull
what
out
Rick
every
said.
legal stop you got.